Okay, we're live. Welcome to Generative AI, Data and Business. There's a reason I'm fascinated with generative AI. I see incredible innovation across the board on a daily basis, and particularly in industries that are very knowledge-centric and information-centric. Not surprisingly, the legal industry is emerging as one of the biggest beneficiaries of generative AI. It can introduce unforeseen levels of efficiency and productivity to the way legal professionals operate on a daily basis. But the question is how? Who can help and where to start? And to answer these questions and more, I'd like to introduce our distinguished guests today, co-founders of Oqood.ai. I've got Arnold Schiemann joining us from Madrid. He's a professor at Professional Studies, Digital Transformation Master from MIT. And I've got Khaled, a practicing lawyer, a business leader, become entrepreneur, joining us from the city of Kuwait today. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you so
much,
Nidal.
Excellent. Well, the story of how you both met is interesting itself. Please tell us about yourselves and how this all started.
Yeah, so we met when I enrolled at MIT Professional Education, a legal technology program, which was for 13 months. I met Mr. Arnold there, and part of our assignments at the digital transformation course was how to transform the legal practice, how to transform the legal processes, and then things grew up from that time.
Very exciting. And Arnold, do you want to tell us about how this all started?
It was interesting that when I first met, of course, as Khaled mentioned, he was one of the students in the group. And then through the course, he asked questions regarding what could be legal tech. And then at the end of the course, we continued conversations, and the conversations moved to us visiting Khaled in Kuwait, and finally joining with their CTO, decided that this would be an opportunity, and that's how Oqood started. I have to say that at the beginning, we knew a little bit of what Khaled had in mind, but what he had in mind, and he will tell you today, it is a little bit only of what it is that we have. But this is how it started.
It's the beginning of a journey. Very exciting. So, to start off with, actually, I have a question for Khaled. The Gulf region is booming with startups, innovation, and early adopters of generative AI. Can you give us some insight why?
Yeah, I believe the huge developments happening here in the region, especially in the startups sector. So you can see governments supporting external funds, international funds coming to the region and putting a lot of money in really promising startups. The second thing also, the governments itself are becoming much more agile, I would say. So you can see a great example in UAE. They have the Minister of AI since 2017, and they have a clear strategy in AI as technology, especially, beside the other technologies like blockchain. So I believe the economy here is developing aggressively, and this is why we also witnessing the huge demand.
That is outstanding. And look, I tell you, we feel it on a daily basis, the innovation coming out, and Oqood.ai is one of the great stories that we want to tell that's coming out from that region. So, let's get started with the beef of this. So the idea behind Oqood.ai, please, both from a legal tech and the problem that you solve.
Yeah, so after practicing law for 14 years, it was clear that there are no great solutions that support us as lawyers in our day-to-day operations and the workflows and so on. There are solutions, but they're not designed to the market. They're not designed to the lawyers here in the market. We started with a different idea, and then through extensive research, interviews, we held also a couple of workshops at our law firm previously with Arnold and the guys. I believe it started from there.
So that was the instigator there. And Arnold, how did you get involved? What was your impression of starting this, I guess, early days all the way to your MVP that I think has just come out?
I think what's interesting is that, as we said, initially, we didn't know the scope of the project. We knew that it had to do with how you get the legal profession supported by technology. When I visited Khaled in Kuwait, he had access to the major data retrieval systems that's available in the market today. And he invited a couple of sessions. We had 2 sessions with 6 or 7 lawyers. Some of them, they came from England and from France who were doing their legal studies. And we talked to them about what we wanted to do. And they were basically very impressed. And even to the point that, they almost wanted to subscribe to the service that we only had in our mind. So later, we even have we invited individual lawyers to talk about them, see what they do, and also I was able to review the whole process that you have in Kuwait, where you get people in the morning going to the courts, people bringing information on paper, so that we saw a big opportunity to automate the process, but more importantly, to change the way the legal profession works in Kuwait. And that was the beginning of our journey. I don't know, Khaled, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I believe also these pain points are quite shared in the region. So when it comes to the day-to-day work for lawyers, we usually search through many windows open on our PCs or through different regulations. So having an AI solution that boosts the efficiency and increase the quality of research and work was something really important. So I would say, quite changed a bit with the idea as we were developing and doing these research and interviews.
Mhm. One thing I liked, Arnold, hearing your story was, even though you have centered around AI to help deliver some of the value, you've really sort of started more from, focusing on that business value as the key driver. So maybe you can tell us more about that.
That took me. Well,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah, I have a comment that's interesting in this development, is that we never had technology in the first place. We always had the business issues or the legal issues first. And if there was a technology that we could use, then we would use them, but we wouldn't be really inclined for particular technologies. We were in the middle of the project. We were doing the project. We started last September, in September 2022.
Oh.
Yes, then you will remember the 2023 about the springtime, the announcement of ChatGPT. And then we had a meeting, like an urgent meeting, I would say, for the founders to see what is the impact that we could expect and how we could anticipate potential products that could use AI. And so we incorporated the idea of AI in a product that we had already been developed and was ready to move forward. So the AI came to us as a result of what we wanted to do, more than, okay, we have AI, let's do the project. And also, we were always very careful to look at the lawyers' needs, the lawyers' potential problems they face day to day, and see how could help them solve them, so that we had really a good value proposition in front of them.
That's excellent. So really the focus here was not on the technology, but using technology as an enabler to solve that business problem. And if you think of, like, look, I'm not a lawyer, but my vision of a lawyer, when I see them walking to court, they've got these, there's bags, that there are a lot of books in their hands, that they actually got them in a suitcase and they're taking them to court. So really there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of discovery and a lot of search that needs to be done. Can you give us some examples of where you think Oqood would be practically of help to lawyers on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the search for any legal profession is the foundation. For any legal task, search is the first step to do. So if it's a judge or investigator, a lawyer, or even law students, everyone search. So the product will allow these legal professionals to search much more efficiently and get a bilingual and up-to-date information. As you know, laws and regulations change quite on a weekly basis, especially in the recent year with the complexity of technologies that are increasing, the complexity of the regulatory also, which are increasing. Having a product to help the professionals to search and streamline their search process would be something really valuable to these professionals. And then for drafting contracts, reviewing contract and legal documents, the tool will help them also to draft like within a minute. A Denton's law firm report showed that lawyers spend around 9 to 15 hours only on reviewing basic contracts, not like a very heavy contract. So imagine how much time they could save.
So I guess efficiency, from an efficiency standpoint and from a productivity standpoint, these cannot be disputed, and that is across industry, but even more, sort of fundamental in the law industry. It's totally understand that. Let's switch a little bit more to the tech talk. I mean, there's been so much research and development, behind the Oqood as a platform and technology. I'm sure there's some of the audience would want to know, the selection of technology, how a little bit about the journey from that, the team. Please give us some insight to, under the hood, how did this all happen?
I think that one of our challenges that we had at the beginning was how to create our technology group that understood the technologies, understood the business, the legal professions challenges, and also with not minor, but a big hurdle is how to understand Arabic, as we were going to be the #1 platform with Arabic language as native. We were able to do that, and we have our CTO who's here as well in Spain. He had a team of about 30 people working for us, and we started moving forward with different designs and making sure that everything that happens is because there is a reason from the business perspective, from the legal perspective. That's why Khaled's involvement was not waiting to see what we were doing, but actually following the development to make sure that is actually addressing issues that he had for the product. And I believe at the end, what we have achieved is a product that is actually helping lawyers. And one thing that we all intended to talk when we talk to legal people, the lawyers, is that our intention is not to replace legal. I mean, not to replace the lawyer. We won't have a Oqood lawyer. No, we will have an Oqood a lawyer that's supported by Oqood. Because what we have intended from the beginning is to provide them with efficiencies. Of course, the efficiency will be gained if you look at the billing rates from large corporations in terms of legal profession, very high. But this is because they spend too much time doing not necessarily client-facing work. And with this, we are allowing the lawyer to have more time for client-facing, while Oqood with particular interns and trainees will help them collect the information, and he will have the chance to see whether it's enough, where it is wrong, where it is fine, and then moving forward from there.
Yeah, I would add also that the product is a cloud native, so we're using Azure infrastructure, and we're using different microservices, which allows the product to scale and also to extend features. During our research, we found out from the feedback that having a private cloud space for each law firm is something really important for them, and secure privacy and these important points. So without having our current, I would say, product architect, this wouldn't be happen. But thanks God, now we'll able to have for each client a private cloud space where they can upload their documents and then interact using our feature with it. Moving forward with the hallucinations, which was something really challenging for us while we're testing our MVP. And then we found the solution through the generative AI course that we both attended, me and Arnold, that the retrieval augmented generation could be something really helpful. And thanks God, we found people who offer this as a service like you guys.
Thank you. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you for mentioning us. And without a doubt, we believe that the flavor of generative AI that is so strong for knowledge acquisition is using what we call RAG or retrieval augmented generation. I wanted to touch a little bit on hallucination. Lawyers are very particular about every word that comes out in summarization or comes out in their search. Generative AI is more intent-based search. It's keyword search and it's neural search, semantic search. There's a lot of terms that come out there and it's all of the above at the moment. So being able to find, going through hundreds of pages, if not thousands of pages, and finding the needle in the haystack and finding the intent, of that, being able to summarize that. The biggest concern has always been, we always get asked, for any industry about hallucination. Can you comment a little bit about that and how you've been able to avoid hallucination to make sure the results are very accurate and very explainable?
Yeah, so it was a real problem at the beginning. Not only the hallucinations, the citations also, which comes part of it, because what we're planning to do or what we're currently doing is offering the response plus the resource of each response. So we found it challenging. We were trying to, I would say, fine-tune a couple of metrics in these systems and these different methodologies of search. But the retrieval augmented generation seems to be good. It was costly in the beginning if you want to implement this technology, but having someone offering it as a service, especially at our stage, in a pre-revenue stage where we're still improving our MVP before going to the market, was something totally different. So I would say we witnessed around 70% accuracy on our MVP. After implementing the RAG, we're almost 99%.
That's fascinating. 99%.
Amazing.
Yeah, and once you can actually see the explainability, you can look at the source, as you said, and drill in there. I think that will be fascinating for any lawyer or anyone or paralegal who's doing who's searching for information. I wanted to also ask the question is, what advice do you have for legal practitioners listening to this and sort of saying, look, I've been let down by legal tech. I haven't seen anything innovative from legal tech. Where should they start?
I think there are a couple of ways they should start. Number one, they could see Oqood as a source of legal information. It's a advice, getting the advice from Oqood regarding the documents and the regulations that could be part of an analysis. But also, I would strongly suggest them to look at their internal processes today to make sure that the place that Oqood takes is more important than anything else. Because you could continue doing everything the way you do it, except the legal retrieval. Well, that's fine. That could give you some advantages. But if you decided, okay, let's do a transformation, what it is that we will do now? Let's not try to protect things that we believe it was good. Let's define the new environment for the execution of the legal groups, and let's see how we can do that better with Oqood. What is that Oqood will give me, and what are the other processes that Oqood may not be part of that, but they will be part of the overall ecosystem, and that's what should be obtained. Looking at the ecosystem for the legal groups more than just getting the information today. If you look at what we have today, well, you can go and subscribe to this data retrieval system, but it doesn't give you any change. You still do everything the same way. But if you incorporate Oqood within the spectrum of your activities, then you're going to do better.
That's outstanding. When can we expect to see? Maybe not now, but in I know the MVP is out. When can we expect, maybe in a future vlog, to even show the audience Oqood.ai live? That will be fascinating for them to actually seeing is believing, right?
Yeah. So now, as we speak, we're working into these improvements that we took according to the market. So I believe within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we should have a tested version that we can show to you guys.
Wonderful. So we look forward to showing that on our vlog and getting your tech team to give us a bit of a demo and go for a bit of a run there. Any last words that you guys would like to share?
Yeah, then in the meantime, while we do our complete our MVP, we continue uploading information. So Khaled has a team of lawyers that are continuously uploading regulations and from different places, different jurisdictions, so that the richness of their database will be really very important whenever somebody wants to use Oqood.
Excellent. And I know you've mentioned Kuwait a few times, but I want to give a perception in my conversations with your team is that this is going to be initially targeting the legal practice in the entire Middle East region, so multiple countries. Khaled, can you share a little bit of where you are with the content with multiple legal countries?
Yeah, so we were targeting the MENA region. We started with 4 jurisdictions. Currently, we're covering Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Egypt. And we're planning to add the rest of GCC countries and the MENA region countries by this year, hopefully.
That's excellent. So how wide is this going to grow, this Oqood legal empire? How far are we going?
Nothing will stop us from moving. Nothing will stop us from covering the world.
Yeah, you've got the platform. Yeah, you've got the platform. And that's the most important. And you spoke about scalability. So that's there. You spoke about the SaaS model as well, which will literally can make it be reached globally. It could be a global phenom, and we hope it is. I think we're in the beginning of witnessing a revolution in the legal industry, and that's why we've been excited to speak to you as not just our customer, but we believe that you're our partner because we're embedded as part of your technology, but there's a lot more to it than just the generative AI brains behind it. So I think this is going to be a smashing hit for the industry, which has really been aching with investment with legal tech. I think it's been lapsing for years, and this is absolutely going to make some massive changes for the industry.
And one big difference from others that may be trying to do what we already have achieved is that we have a consulting group within Oqood that is ready to support legal groups, look at what they have, and do the recommendations regarding the overall processes they have. So that they actually, if they go with Oqood, it will be the best in terms of efficiency and in terms of profitability for those firms.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I believe also
it's a holistic.
Yeah, I believe also we have a unique model that we can really duplicate into other languages and other markets. That is also in our pipeline for the next 3 years, which are like the Asian markets, European markets, the Indian markets is very important to us also. So this is also where the scalability can go.
Yeah, well, large language models are very good with multi-language and cross-language as well. So there's an advantage that you have there. And look, we're very excited to partner with you, Khaled and Arnold. And we certainly, this is not the first time we're going to get on a vlog together. I think this is going to be the beginning of multiple catch-ups to keep the audience educated of how you're growing. And we wanted to really sincerely thank you for your time and for sharing the story behind Oqood with the audience.